What's up, guys? Sub-Zeric here, back for another VOD review. We are doing another Prestament VOD review because I wanted to VOD review this comp, and he played it, and, we saw how much of a beast he was in the last VOD review, so why not watch him again? I will also say, I'm recording this. There are 23 minutes to go before games are supposed to start for the Tactician's Trials 1, so by the time I finish this, games are probably about to start. I assume there's going to be some delays because I still haven't eaten yet, but I'm going to go grab a snack after I do this and then queue up some games in the Tactician's Trials. So if you guys want to watch me play in the Tactician's Trials, join my stream link down below, and see if I smurf on day one. If I get smurfed on, we'll see. It's an interesting patch to play on, and already we can see why we potentially end up in this comp, which is Heavenly, Kayn, and Morgana. We pick up a Darius pair and a Malphite, and there's a Kiana in shop, which just makes it so easy to play this comp. One more sort of like housekeeping announcement thing is that if you guys are doing, I don't really love item grab bag in spots like this, though I do kind of like it in general. And yeah, he's just gonna take the 1, 2s, 3 here to look for potentially just some more units. Maybe we can get like, oh yeah, even a Nico is nice, but it's also just some econ here. I kind of like healing orbs. I'm actually curious about going in the stats later and seeing what's better there, but we do get to play around this Ahri now, which is really nice. And I have seen some people talk about like the faded opener plus the heavenly opener being pretty solid. In any case, before I sidetrack myself again, if you guys are trying to do the Call of Dragons like promotion I'm doing, where if you complete objectives in game, you get free coaching sessions. You get entered into a free coaching giveaway. The last day to do that is basically today. There is about a 24-hour period from when this video goes live to when you can be registered for the goals. So if you guys want to do that, you got basically 24 hours left before that's over. So keep it in mind. But yeah, we got this Heavenly / almost faded opener. We don't have faded in yet. We're playing around this Ahri here. This is a version I've seen a lot more faded. If you can get like the 3 faded plus Heavenly opener in, you have a monstrous opener. But now we pick up a Yorick here, which is another unit that fits in beautifully on this board. Yorick Darius fits in so well with Kiana Malphite. There's so many versions of this board that you can play depending on what you hit early. This is one of the best ones, especially if you can find a Darius 2, because Darius 2, I've said many a time about how Darius is a monster. I'm also curious, Precipit's not looking to slam Edge of Night here, which I think would be the obvious slam in this position. And I wonder why that is. Maybe he wants to play for Lost Streak here because he knows his board's not strong, but I feel like Edge of Night would have swung this fight. Maybe he's just an Edge of Night hater. I know a lot of people like something like Edge of Night, Last Whisper, Hodge. Also, we get a bunch of spats on Carousel here, and that's spat Nico, so we can pick up a potential Heavenly spat on a Nico. And yeah, now we're scouting around to say, okay, how many people might actually play this comp? Because that is the other thing to consider when you are playing Heavenly, is that it's often a pretty contested comp. I have had some lobbies where just inexplicably, for some reason, nobody else is playing it, and I get uncontested Heavenly, but very often it's going to be contested. If we scout around a bit, we see a decent number of people who actually seem like they're not interested in playing it. People with Gwynsu Slam, like this guy's probably not playing it. The person with Gwynsu is probably not playing it. A lot of the Fortune players are probably not playing it because it's a bit harder to pivot into than something like Kai'Sa. There is someone with a BT Titans made, which could be this, could be Gnar. We'll see what their setup ends up being. But yeah, it's definitely a comp where you want to be cognizant of how contested you are. And I've had lobbies. I had a lobby last night where I was actually trying to play Senna Reroll because I wanted to see how good it was after the changes. And I scouted the lobby at 5-1, and there were 9 Kanes out of the pool. 9! So be careful what you're playing in lobbies like this, because if there are 9 Kanes out of the pool, it's going to be really hard for you to find a Kane too. So yeah, just in TFT and all things, TFT is kind of a self-correcting game in that you draft the units that you buy, you purchase them in a shared shop. So if a comp is really broken, and this might be the strongest comp of the patch, it's certainly up there. Other people can make the comp worse by just buying all the units in it. There's our Heavenly spat, by the way, which is fantastic. Rod usually goes to Morello here. Yeah, you can usually sell Nico off. I feel like she's the least important one just to get 2-star in general. But yeah, we're looking at potentially an Edge of Night here. It's always going to be a Heavenly spat, I'm sure. The tier often goes to Hodge, but we have a lot of, we're far from a lot of items. If we make Heavenly spat here and Edge of Night, which I like, we're still, there's no slam after this. Of course, these slams are really good, But, you know, you want the bow for either Last Whisper or Titans or even like red buff. You want the rod for like Morello's probably, and then you want the tier for either Hodge, Adaptive Helm. Pharmacist tends to be really, really good in the stats. Portable also is probably really, really solid in the stats. And yeah, we are going to pick up Portable here. The only downside to Portable is it's really all or nothing. Pharmacist will always be good. Portable in a spot like this where we get a Zanya's is actually pretty bad because we already have the Edge of Night. So now we just have to Zanya's a second unit. Yeah, I'm actually really curious in what Mr. Stats say. Sorry. For this comp specifically about this augment choice, because I think I do like Portable, but I'm starting to like Portable less and less. And the more I check in the stats, the less it looks like actually like broken. But in any case, we still have a pretty good setup. We have the Zanya's Edge of Night, which is pretty funny. And sorry for the lag a little bit. I think it's because I opened up Tactics.tools. Pharmacist 4.5, Portable 4.8. It says actually, holy, or maybe this is Portable Forge Plus is a 4.8, which I think is what we get there. Yeah, so wild. Okay, I mean the stats don't really support taking Portable there, and I mean the in practice doesn't really support taking Portable there because there's only a few items you really want. Infinity Force is great, Death's Defiance is great. That's about it, right? Snipers isn't very good. Like all the tank ones kind of suck because you don't really have a tank in this. All the AP ones kind of suck. You can throw them onto Morgana, but they're not amazing. So I don't think this is even actually like a low roll situation for taking Portable Forge. We would love to pick up the glove there because it completes a lot of our items. Since we can't get the glove here, I would think we would just take the belt here, finish out Morello's here, but we're actually going to go sword for GS, I guess. GS is a fantastic item onto Kayn. We could also just make nothing and sit on the sword for a little while. Worst case, it could be like a Gunblade to give us healing. The only downside is then, you know, you're losing your rod, which would go towards Morello. So yeah, I would have been interested in making Morello here, but he actually picks up the sword here. I mean, sword a fantastic component in this comp. No level here as well. He is just going to make Gunblade here just for a healing item. Leaves the Last Whisper component open, and he just says, I don't really care that much about getting to the Morello and getting to heal cut. I'll find heal cut some way, somewhere else in this game. And so yeah, he just makes Gunblade, which I think the stats actually support being a pretty good item. I mean, our board is not very strong right now. We look at our matchups. There's some weak players, though. This is tough. I think I might just have it set me on a loss streak. Yeah, it's so sad because we're probably going to spike our board soon. And he's even just going to put the Lilia in here and just say, okay, I'm fine losing this fight. Like, I'm going to lose this fight probably. I can slam items if I fight somebody really, really strong. And yeah, I am going to slam versus this guy because I'm a little bit afraid of their board, even though, I mean, it just goes to show we're afraid of this board. They are carrying a Sivir 1. The only thing is that they have an Atrox 2, so it's going to be really hard for us to kill anything here. And yeah, we kill basically nothing there. Which is pretty rough. We do get a bit bailed out here by Papa Mortdog, and we get a Kayn natural. We have this Morgana natural, so now our board is really rocking and rolling. We're just looking for, we have one more, we have Soraka that you can fit in, and Lee Sin is traditionally what people play. A duplicator and a 5-cost duplicator is not bad, by the way. Diana's another unit that you can fit in this comp, just because she fits in pretty well with the synergies. A lot of the stats say that you should just play more Vertical Heavenly. Pick up a Hui, actually, which is pretty funny this early, and so we can look at painting something, though we're actually just going to paint a 1-cost right now. And we also have to figure out what our items are going to end up being. Does it have to be an Archangels? I mean, he's going to go blue buff here. Okay. Yeah, actually, blue buff seems really, really good. It's a mana item, and it still preserves the rod for Morello, which is pretty nice. I would be interested in doing it. I guess he just wants the Hui in for 1 round to farm gold. He's not really looking to keep it in long enough to dupe stuff. The stats say Comet Caster is actually fine. I believe the stats say Tons of Stats is really good as well. Speaking about the hits as well, that is a Wukong here. Only downside is, yeah, we're probably going to have to sell that Morgana to move the tier because we have a Wukong item. Also pick up Zyra Khan, which is a fantastic unit to play. There's our second Kayn that we can just duplicate if we want to. And yeah, I think it's very, very reasonable to do that. And we're going to cut the Nico here and play Zyra Khan. I like this a lot. Blue buff Zanyas goes on the Wukong, and we are back. We are fully back. I will say this is certainly above average reroll, like roll down. Sometimes I flame chat for saying that, you know, this guy high rolled, but rolling that much gold on 8 and finding a Wukong, a Zyra Khan, and essentially a Kayn 2 with the duplicator is, yeah, it's certainly above average, but you know, this is an above average player, so we'll take it. And the blue buff also, in hindsight, was a fantastic slam because it fits so well into Wukong. This is one of Wukong's best items. Zanya's is like a pretty good, you know, sort of Edge of Night-esque type item where, you know, you just put the Zanya's and it's basically Edge of Night just with kind of worse stats. I don't know what Wukong's AP scaling is, but I don't think it's like amazing. And he's even looking at selling the Nico here to make gold. Nico, I would say, is the least important heavily to get in. The HP is just not that relevant on a lot of these units because you're healing so much anyway. You would prefer the armor and MR to scale the HP off of, essentially. Item-wise here, we are looking for... We still have that tier... No, we don't have tier open, so... Oh, this is Last Whisper, right? Yeah, we still have the bow open, so Last Whisper has to be the slam here. Fantastic item onto our boy Kane here. We have the duplicator still, so that just allows us to make Soraka too. And yeah, we can just rock and roll with this board. The one thing that I think is really interesting to think about in this comp is the number of +1 units that you can fit. You can fit Rakan, you can fit Soraka, you can fit Wukong, you can fit Morgana, you can fit Diana, you can fit Lee Sin. There's like 6 units that you can potentially fit on this board that aren't, you know, quote-unquote standard. Also, I'm getting pinged. Check-ins are closed. They're gonna remake the lobbies in the next 10 minutes. Okay, so I think I'm probably gonna be fine. You know, GG Tech sometimes takes a little while on their lobbies and stuff like that, so I won't be shocked if it takes longer. I think Sword here is really good. This kind of has to be Wukong item. Is it Gunblade? Just Gunblade Wukong? It can't be the end of the world. And then you look for Morello. Yeah, I mean, I think this has to be the pickup. Okay, I'm happy this game that I've been able to predict a lot more of what Prestivid is going to do, because last game, it kind of hurt my pride a little bit. Nobody flamed me in the comments, which I appreciate, but, you know, I like every single time I was like, Prestivid will probably build like this item, and then he builds like something completely different. I'm like, Prestivid will probably play this, and he plays something completely different. And so this game, the game being a little bit more predictable for me, makes me feel a little bit better as far as slams and stuff like that. We are just looking to push 9 now. We have the Kayn 2, we picked up the Morgana 2, and we have our 5 costs. We're looking to go 9, add some more 5 costs onto our board. There's also Lissandra, I forgot to mention, who is another unit that you can fit in on this board, who's fantastic in a lot of the melee matchups. We get, oh my god, that's 2 Ornn items. This is actually pretty bad for us, right? Because we don't actually have that many units to itemize. We can throw an item on Morgana here, like a Mana Zane potentially. He's just going to take the Infinity Force here, and then what? I think it's got to be Mana Zane, right? And then you look for, like, Rakan item here off of this. You look for Dojin? Redemption? Redemption he's going to go for. Rakan's dashing forward, but he does end up dashing back, and Redemption proccing onto that Kayn is not bad. It's also, like, a mana item. So would Shojin be, I guess. But, you know, this is a defensive mana item, which will allow Rakan to survive longer. But, yeah, those double artifacts, honestly, like, we would have preferred a lot of other stuff instead of this. We would have preferred, you know, just, like, a bunch of gold or, like... You know, those prismatic orbs can be like a radiant item crafter, where you turn many items that are radiant. Like, imagine we get a radiant LW or a radiant Edge of Night. That actually... Okay, right after I do this video, I'm going to go look at what the best radiant... Okay, I can actually pull it up right now in the other monitor. It just might make the thing look a little bit laggy, but I want to know what the best radiant item on Kayn is when you're playing this comp. We're in 6 Heavenly with Kayn, star level 2 items. And then we're going to go to Radiant items and then sort by Delta. It says BT, actually, is the best one. Blessed Bloodthirster, then Sterak's, then Titans, then Brink of Dawn is actually not that good. And Fist of Fairness is one of the worst, it says. We don't actually have Radiant Gunblade in the stats. I can bring down the sample size a little bit and see. Stats say Radiant Gunblade is slightly better than Radiant Brink of Dawn, but it is a sample size of 24, so I don't know if I'm that interested in that. And it actually stats say Eternal Winter is not that good. I guess in hindsight, Eternal Winter doesn't actually sound that good, because the effect of Eternal Winter is just to shred for the entire fight. But that doesn't really matter for us, because if Kayn gets on a unit, he's probably going to be on that unit until they're dead. And so, like, you know, shredding that unit for the rest of the fight doesn't really do much for us. Item-wise here, we're picking up a final Rakan item here. It just goes for the BT for the shield and some kind of healing. We're in a level now. Throw in an Udyr, which I wasn't even listing on my list of units that you can randomly throw in, but he's definitely a unit that you can play. And Prestivid is interested in potentially the Kayn 3 out. We scout around this board. I didn't immediately see anyone playing a Kayn, and, you know, this might be one of those random lobbies where it happens where nobody's playing Kayn. You know, like, it's, we're fighting this Xayah board. I don't remember too many other boards that we fought, honestly, because I'm zooming through this and looking at stats, but it may be that we're just in a lobby where there's not a lot of Kayns, and maybe we can pick something up. Deathblade and Deathcap here. I mean, we can itemize Soraka, we can itemize, I guess this goes on either Kiana or Kha'Zix. He's just gonna throw them both on Udyr, okay. Yeah, does Udyr do more damage than Soraka? I guess we'll see in the damage recap here. I was thinking maybe Kiana plus Soraka for these, but it is nice to put them on the same unit, just so that they scale off of each other, just because of how items work. So I guess we'll see. It's not like these items make Udyr tankier or anything like that. So it's really just about who does the most raw damage here. And I mean, I could certainly see it being Udyr. Also, I could see this Kayn doing monstrous work. And yeah, Udyr 3k there. Wow, okay. So it was absolutely Udyr. Udyr actually put in a lot of work. And wow, we're even holding onto this Morgana here, even though it means we're not making gold, just to have another potential out for 3-star 4 cost. I do think this is how you often need to win games when you're playing this comp is a 3-star 4 cost, especially in a lobby like this where it's basically we're uncontested. Just because, yeah, there's very few people playing the setup. That's another Kayn. I don't think we need to buy the Silas, but we are, buying a lot of 4 costs to crowd out the pool. There's another Kayn out 2 off. There's another Kayn. Oh my god. And we hit the Wukong too, which is huge here. I don't know what this... Oh, okay. We're going to up the Rakan and play the double Kayn setup. Okay, I actually love this. Just play the double Kayn on our board here. This brings me back to, I forget what Mordekaiser it was, where you would play, was it Noxus Mordekaiser, where you just play double Mordekaiser on your late game board, and now we're 1 off Kayn 3. Once again, it's uncontested, so it's not completely unreasonable that we find this here. Gets the Lysandre for a second, but decides better and says, I'm going to play the Rakan instead. And there it is. Holy, that's the Kayn 3, just sending it to 0 here. We're 49 HP, and that's going to be the dub. We just have to make sure that we keep the left Kayn's items on by benching the right Kayn. But I mean, honestly, even with the right Kayn, we should probably be fine because BT is good. Trinity Force is good. The Hodge is not amazing, or the Redemption's not amazing, but it's good enough. And lucky that we don't kill this guy here because I want to get at least one fight in with this Kayn on the board so that we get, to have bragging rights, get to see it in the match history. But wow, what a beautiful game from Precedent here. Definitely a bit high roll on the 4-2 roll down, but I really, really like all of his decisions. I really, really like the units he got in on this board. This is a comp that, it seems straightforward to play, but there are a ton of little micro decisions every single game. Also, we got our Kayn hit by Lysandre, which is one of the few ways we could actually lose this fight if somehow we get perma CC'd, but even then, it's impossible. So yeah, that's gonna be the VOD. I gotta get out of here to go play my tourney. Thank you guys. Go check out the tourney. Last day for Call of Dragon stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.